This is Alan with MysteryMTG.com, and we are in the slight intermission for our 6th Mystery MTG Spice Arena. Now, before we start, I'm just going to confirm quality, make sure that everything is A-OK on our end, and then we will start. So, excuse me if there's a little bit of echo. We have about a 5-minute intermission. This will be edited out of the YouTube version, and this will only be visible on Facebook and Twitch. So settle in, get ready for an epic tale and epic journey. Excuse me for the echo you will hear right now. Mystery for an epic tale and epic journey. Alrighty. Looks like the quality of the audio seems to be just fine. Unfortunately, the stream does not come out incredibly well on Facebook. I imagine the same may be true on Twitch. And we will get started on a pretty epic journey. This is going to be, I think, one of the best Spice Arenas we've ever had. The story is epic. It's pre-written to a certain extent, but there's a lot of holes for you guys to come jump in. Let me move the chat. We're just going to make sure that we have everything ready to go. And this is going to be, I mean, seriously, this story I think is really quite impressive. So it's kind of dark. If you're not into horror, I would say maybe not the stream for you. It is quite dark and quite gruesome, and so keep that in mind while you're here. Stanley, hope you have a great day, Stanley. Love you as well. Sounds weird to say that to a customer, but I do love you, Stanley. Damien, unfortunately, ticket entries are finished. Joey Moss, take me on an epic journey. This is going to be an epic journey, but this is going to be really quite crazy. I think it's going to be quite crazy. Now, I think we will get started here in around 2 minutes. Once again, we are just triple checking the quality of the stream. Let me go on to Twitch, make sure we are live there, and everything seems to be okay on our end. Yep, everything seems A-OK here. Alrighty. So, once again, this story is going to be quite gruesome, quite dark. And I would like to say that the winnings for today, if you win your roll, will be very spicy. Very, very spicy. If you win something like Mirrored and Besieged, expect an Avacyn Restored pack added on to that. If you win something like Scourge, you will likely get 2 of them. Stronghold packs will be sent out today, worth around $200 each. Tempest packs will be sent out today, worth around $110 each. If you do the singles roll, we have masterpieces worth around $80 to $150 each. I know RNG is a little bit hard to defeat sometimes, but if you win these rolls today, I guarantee you will come out a very happy camper. I will say though, these battles, these creatures, these demons are not to be played with, so take that as you will. Now, everyone, welcome to the 6th Mystery MTG Spice Arena, the Ruins of Zevia. We will get started. I hope you are all settled in. Brittany is here, John Fagel. John, I incorporated you pretty heavily into this story. I hope you don't mind that. It's gonna be really fun. You know, the more often we see you guys every week, the more often your name will be mentioned specifically. Remember, 1 through 50 is a loss, 50 to 100 is a win. If you hit a direct 50, that is a win. Okay, so I'm gonna give it probably 30 seconds here to let everyone come in, get cozy. The ruins of Zevia start soon. The pain, the suffering, the horror. Get ready for it. Okay, I see a lot of names in here, and I think we are ready to go. The real Vulgar Phoenix in the Twitch chat. One of the very few rare people, Damien Kane. I appreciate you guys on Twitch. I know we don't really get that many Twitch viewers, but who's ready to get started? This is going to be quite the adventure. I'm pretty excited about this. So, just to give that little intermission here between the actual story, certain parts are pre-written, but the way it works is you guys are in chat, and as we're going down the story, make sure if you want to alter the story, write something in chat that you want to do. If you want to disengage with the party, if you want to go in solo and try to jump onto the creature's back, make sure you write that in the chat and I will incorporate that into the story. And the second part of the story is not written. The first part is just to get us into it, get us into combat. Once we're in combat, a lot of it is just in the moment. So hopefully the audio quality is good. Can you guys hear me well? Just give me a confirmation that the audio quality is good. All of this will be removed for the YouTube version of this. But for what we're doing right now, we will leave it in. I'm excited. This is going to be epic. My god. I mean, it's going to, really depend on us to make this an epic tale. And I think we have the right people here to do it. Okay. The ruins of Zevia. Sit around the fire, my children. As the snow falls, we must keep warm. The cold, it reminds me. What does it remind you of? Timmy says to his grandfather, to which an eerily long silence ensues. The ruins of Zevia, the house, the snow, the children. As the grandfather sits back into his chair, the memories come flooding back. Horrible, forgotten, dark memories. In a dark, mysterious, and rarely lit town, a group of men arrive by the king's orders. Lacking ordinary armor and Azonian symbols, it is quite apparent these are not soldiers, rather mercenaries attempting to finish a job. As the carriage halts, and the sickly-looking peacekeeper guides them, they are promptly taken to a hill with a strategic vantage point. These men are ordered to prepare for immediate combat. Nicholas Griffin, the Ranger of Azon, confused, asks, "I'm sorry, sir, but we've had a chance to see the city, and as we stroll through, I've never seen such a quiet city. What combat are we prepared for?" A slight smirk appears on his face. "Are we wrestling boars?" Joshua Moreland, the company's lead, quickly kicks Nicholas Griffin and gives him a glare. Silence. The weathered, sickly old man looks up at Nicholas. Nicholas, in his naivety, matches his glare. The eyes, so wide and engulfed in terror, make Nicholas Griffin stumble. He's unable to break the trance. "Boars! Boars, you choke! No! Pain! Magic! Fire! Die! Die! Die!" Alistair Valor, Jonathan Fagel, and Jason Azurpay quickly break the tension by dropping their items and getting suited in armor. Brittany Kozik, Josh Shea, stand guard by the door while we get ready. I know you lot aren't ready to take this seriously, but the king is paying you 3 times the average rate for mercenaries. Whatever we're facing, it's not going to be easy, says Joshua Moreland. An alert, "Aye, Captain," is said, and the party is ready for combat. Here we go. I hope some of you live, but I know many of you will die. So stand with me, all of you. This is going to be quite a gnarly journey as they climb down the hill. The silence is almost deafening. The faint noise of howls, grunts, and leaves keep the party alert, waiting for what lies ahead. "I don't get it," Stefan Tucker says to Courtney Gutierrez. "Both soldiers of the Nordic Alliance, thousands of miles away from their homelands. Why would a king of such wealth and such strength hire mercenaries of the highest regards for a broken town? One that lacks even a pub. I could have come naked and in my trousers defeated whatever beast they hath not dealt with." Courtney snickers, but lets out a yelp suddenly. The party stops and stares. "Attention! What see you, Courtney?" "A child. I saw a child." Brandon Carl, a veteran of the Azonian arenas, unsheaths his sword. His son Adler Carl, his firstborn and trainee, readies his bow, with a shiver creeping down his spine. "Jonathan Fagel, find the child, the rest of you, with me." Joshua Moreland leads the party into the brush, while Jonathan Fagel examines his surroundings, briefly walking down the path before stumbling on a doll? Jonathan Fagel, you're in chat. What do? You see the doll. Are you going to examine it? Are you going to look from a distance? I will give Jonathan a chance to answer this question before I fill it in for you. It's just a doll. It's just sitting there. You know that you have to look for a child. I know this is the beginning of every horror movie, Jonathan Fagel, but you may want to figure out what this doll is doing here. It seems to be quite a nice doll from the distance. Jonathan Fagel says he would like to retrieve the doll. As Jonathan Fagel stumbles upon the doll, he looks down at it. Something eerie in its eyes. This is not an ordinary doll, and as he looks up, he must take the first roll. Jonathan, what happens next in the story, this one roll can change everything. 1 to 50 is a loss, 50 to 100 is a win. Jonathan Fagel, do you win this roll? No! Jonathan Fagel looks up, and as he looks up, yellow eyes meet him. A child, decomposed, standing, not moving. Jonathan can't react, he can't move. He's unable to sheath his sword. What are you doing here? As he says that, the party that is left hears a gruesome scream. Jonathan Fagel has been killed. How he has been killed, we don't know. But we may find out. Now, Jonathan has died. The party hears the scream and rushes over to find his limp body, a chomp in his neck. What could have done this? A boar does not bite at the neck. A bear does not leave a body with just one bite. Stefan Tucker, you lead the party into the woods, and now we go into the second phase of combat. As they go through the woods, there is quite a few shuttered houses, wooden planks covering the windows, covering the door. Soft whispers can be heard in the distance, but these mercenaries can't tell if fear is overcoming them. John Fagel's body is burned to keep them from staying there too long. Now, we have entered the part of the story that is largely led by you. You must decide where you would like to go. Stephen Tucker, Courtney Guerrez, Dylan Brown. The first to answer gets to pick. Do you enter into the biggest house you see, sort of like a mansion? The windows are shuttered, but the door is slightly open. Do you enter into just the city and walk around? Do you want to explore? Or would you like to return to your vantage point and wait there to see if you can maybe get back up, if you can figure things out together? You have to choose now. So you have three options there. You either enter the mansion, you go back to your vantage point, or you just explore the city. Courtney, Dylan. Explore. Okay, both say explore. As this party goes forward and they explore the city, it's really quite odd. There's random clumps of hair around almost every corner. Blonde, brown, black. Stuff that looks like dried blood, but you're not sure it is brown at this point. What has happened here is really quite unknown. But you hear a laugh in the distance. Oh, there is a 15-second delay. I think that's just inherent. I don't know if we can actually respond to that. However, you hear a laugh in the distance. And you too, the party, now see a child. Around 4'1", not very tall. Her jaw slightly decomposed. Her hair filled with worms protruding from her skull, making it look as though her hair was alive. The party, stunned, stays there for a second. Now, you guys are going to engage into combat here. The first group of combatants will be Courtney Guerrez. You know what, we will actually do it by roll. So Jonathan Fagel has died. Courtney Guerrez, Alex Pofale, Josh Shea, Sung Ho Kwang are in the first combat group. You are the first to run up into battle. You unsheath your swords. This child is demonic. The fact that she is slightly decomposed, she looks like she should be dead. You know that something is incredibly wrong here. This is beyond dark magic. This is literally necromancy, and this must be addressed. Even as mercenaries, you have some moral obligation here to make things right, and now you get why the king has been paying mercenaries so much to come here. The first 4 people to roll. Courtney Guerrez, 1 roll. 1 to 50 is a loss, and 50 to 100 is a win. Courtney runs up and stumbles a little because killing a kid is not something she would have ever wanted to do, although her hand is forced right now. So I guess this is the deciding factors. Are you willing to do this? Are you not willing to do this? And if you're not willing to do this, we'll see what the kid does to you. We roll once. 11. No. Courtney runs up first, and as she gets there, she sees the worms protruding from the skull. She sees the yellow, decomposed eyes, and she tries to take her sword out, but she stumbles. She can barely speak. She tries to call to Joshua Moreland to get him to help, seeking leadership, but what she sees in front of her is so gruesome, so disgusting. She isn't able to do it. The kid raises its hand, and a black flurry of flies releases from it, going into Courtney's nostrils, into her mouth, and out of her ears. These flies start to munch on your brain, your intestines. Within a matter of seconds, Courtney is eaten alive. These flies quickly once Courtney is dead, return to the kid, going through her nostrils and remaining there. The kid now looks at Alex profile. Alex, seeing what has happened, is not excited about this. Alex simply needed the gold to continue his education in the Kingdom of Azon. He is sturdy, strong, ready for combat, but this is not what he signed up for. However, Alex has a conscience, and he just saw Courtney die. He engages into combat. He grabs his sword, he runs forward, and he rolls. Oh my god, what is going on? Oh god. As Alex arrives, the child has a different trick up her sleeve. She smiles, a toothless smile. Worms crawling in and out of the crevices in which her children's teeth were once. She pulls out a bone carved in the shape of a knife and attempts to jump onto Alex and stab him. Alex, 1 to 50 is a loss, 50 to 100 is a win. Please win here. Wait, did we just roll for Alex? Was this Alex's roll? Did he get the 21? Oh, he died. No. Okay. She jumps onto Alex. And before the party can assist him, she starts to stab him ruthlessly, in and out of his neck, hitting multiple arteries, the blood squirting on her. She revels in this. This is a sick pleasure for what must be a demon inside of this dead child's body. Everyone in the party is now fully alert to what is going on and ready for combat. Josh Shea grabs his axe. A member of the Nordic Alliance. He has not seen a land like this. He does not know of these types of battles. He doesn't even know of the existence of magic. Where he comes from, people do hand-to-hand combat. But he is ready to face these demons and to see if he can make it out alive. Josh Shea runs up to the child, attempts to grab her hair. As he does, the slime of the worms quickly engulfs his hand, and he uses his other hand to attempt to swing the axe directly onto her neck with no mercy. 1 to 50 is a loss, 50 to 100 is a win. Come on, Josh Shea. I don't get what's going on here. This is like really low. We haven't had a single win thus far. I'm tempted to give rerolls here because I don't want the entire party dying. Okay, this is rough. As Josh attempts to swing his axe through the neck of the child, with ungodly strength she raises her hand, fingers missing, and stops the blade. She looks at him, eye to eye, and he dies. Glaring directly into her eye, he freezes, his heart slows to a stop, and he falls to the ground. The child bares her teeth, or the maggots that were once her teeth, and almost looks like she wants to eat his body. But there are other adventurers to worry about, other mercenaries that are attempting to kill her now, so she engages the party once again. Sung Ho Kwang, you have one roll. Please, Sung Ho Kwang, win this roll. If not for you, for the fate of this party. Sung Ho Kwang. Oh my god. Should we refresh the page? This has never happened before. This has never happened before. Oh my god, this is a slaughter. The entire story is really getting ruined here because everyone is dying. What are we doing? I'm really at a loss here, but Sungho Huang, as you attempt to engage in combat, another child appears. Not just one, 3. From your right and left, you hear snickering. Sungho Huang, made of steel, a known warrior that has fought with us before, doesn't know what to do. He can't run. He can't hide. Children of death are around him. A demonic presence is felt in the air. Sungho Huang grabs his sword and swings wildly around. "Get back! You hellish fiends! Get away from me!" And as he does this, a child comes from behind him. 2 daggers made of bones in hand. Stabs him in the back, repeatedly, as he attempts to turn around. Another jumps on his neck and starts to strangle him with a disgusting piece of cloth. So rugged, it looks as if it was dipped into blood. Sungho Huang is being strangled. Brandon Carl and Adler Carl, both trained in combat, Brandon being the veteran warrior, Adler Carl his trainee, and his son, attempt to save Sungho. They run into combat, Adler Carl shooting his bows, shooting his arrows at these hellish fiends. Brandon Carl coming in, strength, his muscles pulsing under the armor. He is ready for this. He is ready to die for this, to defeat these hellish fiends. And he rolls for Brandon Carl first. Do you survive this onslaught of demonic energy? Yes! Brandon Carl, with ferocity, swings his sword into the skull of these disgusting, decomposed demons hiding in children's bodies. And as the skull is met with the blade, a burst of foul, black energy comes from every single hole on the children's face, exploding. This does not faze Brandon. As he kills one, he moves towards the other. His son, Adler Carl, attempts to shoot an arrow at the next before his father has to deal with all of them alone. Adler Carl, do you land the first arrow? You have to help your father here. He does! Oh, with the 94! And the accuracy, rarely seen by bowmen, especially for a trainee. Adler Carl sets his sights on multiple demonic little, I don't know what you want to call them, little screw bags, shooting multiple arrows, bursts of black energy happening around him. Sungho Huang, unfortunately, is wriggling on the ground, can barely breathe at this point, but they've done their best. Both of them performing exceedingly well in this combat. Brittany Kozak coming from behind, invigorated, inspired by what she sees. She takes on 2 of these children. Flies start to swarm around her. But Brittany also has magic up her sleeve. Brittany attempts to shoot a firewall between her and the little flies attempting to come into every crevice to kill her. Will she do this in time to save herself? Brittany, 1 to 50 is a loss, 50 to 100 is a win, and we roll. Oh, come, that's pretty close. That's pretty close. I feel like if you get a 45 and above, we give you a reroll, because we've had so many people lose. Let's give this a reroll. Let's give this a reroll just to see. Okay, we're going to call it a win. 45 and above. The chances have to be higher here because we had too many losses. We need some people to win here, okay? Brittany K, almost within a split second, is engulfed in fireflies. Not fireflies. Disgusting black creatures that resemble flies. Almost engulf her body, but she summons the inner light that she has honed in her years of fighting. And the fiery blast comes through. The flies are no more. She takes a fireball from her hand and flings it at these disgusting creatures. It lands into the stomach of the little child that killed Jonathan Fagel. And the child starts to burn and scream. These screams are so loud and piercing. Brittany stumbles, but she is alive. Jeffrey Swakowski comes into the fray. This is a agile thief, someone who was once on the streets of Azon, begging for change, now a hardened warrior, daggers in hand, laced with poison. Jeffrey Swakowski, you enter into combat, you are surrounded, kids are popping up everywhere, from your left and right and behind. You start to hallucinate. How many are there? Are there hundreds, thousands? You don't know. The snickering is louder and louder. Everyone in the party is terrified. Even the most hardened warriors. We roll once. Oh wait! Brittany has 2 rolls. So Brittany stumbles, and she actually has another engagement of combat. So as she stumbles, one of these demonic creatures attempts to re-engage her in combat and stab her. And these kids, these whatever you would like to call them, do not do anything half-heartedly. Brittany, the second roll. That is a loss. Brittany, as you stumble and your firewall dissipates, you have defeated these nasty demonic creatures and whatever their flies are, but you have not been able to survive a dagger inside of you. This kid stabs once, twice, 3 times. Brandon and his son attempt to save you, but they can't. It's too late. You attempt to summon fire in your hands, but it fizzles. Jeffrey Swakowski comes into combat here, 2 daggers in hand, laced with poison. Like I said, this is someone who was once a poor man with nothing, and now he engages in what is probably one of the most horrific things he has ever seen. But he's not afraid. He's seen some pretty terrible crap in the alleyways of Azon. 3 or 4